What's up, everyone? This is your host, Ghost, coming to you live with another wonderful video. How is everyone doing today? Doing well myself. Sorry for the late start. I had things to attend to this morning, and it it ended up, just took longer than I expected. So I do apologize for that. Let's see what else. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I had a good one. Uh, now got stuff ready and stuff for some party. Um, yeah, it's a good weekend for me. I hope you guys had a good weekend yourselves. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we got a Rekieta law update on his criminal stuff. That we're going to go over. He also apparently went on Chrissie Mayr's show the other day and dispelled apparently the rumors of his drug use and his what else is it? And his bond. So we'll listen to that, see what he has to say about that. And then we're gonna go through. Apparently, Jennifer Aniston doesn't like JD's Vance's past comments about women without children. Because she is a woman without children. And odds are she heard what he had to say about it and internalized it, and then got mad about it. So we'll listen, see what she has to say, see what JD Vance had to say about the whole thing. Anyway, so that's the plan. And then Laura Loomer has some breaking news that apparently a lot of Kamala's online support is being paid for. So we'll look at that, and she just posted a recent update about all that. So we'll take a look at all that. And then finally, we'll check out the TPUSA rally that Trump did the other day. That has apparently gotten him in some hot water or has upsetted his detractors for whatever reason. So we'll take a look at that. Let's see, I'm trying to think. I think that's it. So make sure you follow me on X at official WGhost. That's the best way to find out when I go live and what I am up to. Follow me on Rumble as well. Rumble is the main channel. Regardless of where I'm at, I'm always going to be on Rumble. So Rumble is the best place to find out where I'm at. Make sure you. Sorry. Make sure you check out my last video. I covered the debate between Destiny and Andrew Wilson on whether January 6th was insurrection. So yeah, be on the lookout for that, And I forgot I gotta do something here. Sorry, I'm just trying to get some other stuff situated back here. There you go. Let's see. Okay, and then YouTube is youtube.com/@withghost. That is the YouTube channel on the YouTube. Twitch.tv/officialwithghost is of course Twitch. And then of course my gaming channel. I haven't been doing much gaming. So I think this will be the last time I mention it until I actually do start gaming again. Just because it's such a fucking pointless at this point at the moment until at least I start gaming again. All right. Let me think. I think that's everything I have to talk about. So let me just finish what I'm doing here, and then we will get into the topics of the day. Again, how was everyone's weekend? Did you have a good one? Oh, hold on. Let me give a shout out to. Hold on. Shout out to Silent Graves 16 for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate that. If you would be willing, I'd appreciate it if you go over to Rumble and give me a follow there as well. As again, Rumble is the main channel. I'd appreciate that if you'd be willing to do that. But I appreciate the follow regardless, even if you don't go up and do this. I'm almost done here. Just doing a little bit. I forgot to upload my debate onto my videos. Oh, you know what else I did this weekend? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, went to go see the new Deadpool, and I gotta say, I enjoyed it immensely. Was it like the best movie of all times? No, but it was a really good movie. It's hilarious. Loved it. I enjoyed every minute of it. Now, it wasn't like the best movie of all times. Like it wasn't. People were like, "Oh, I now have hope in the MCU." No, 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 no. Calm down. It wasn't like the greatest movie, but it was a good Deadpool movie. I enjoyed it immensely. I highly recommend it. It was really funny, and I think this movie was more about closing out the Fox 20th Century Fox universe than and actually furthering uh, furthering the MCU. And also, we got some news on the MCU. Probably cover that tomorrow, but it's freaking hilarious. All right, I'm all done with this background crap, so let's get back to it. All right. So this comes from AF Stream. This update on Rekieta says that April Emolt, if you don't remember, April is the woman who was charged alongside with the Rekietas, and she's the woman that Rekieta is rumored. There hasn't really been any official confirmation. In my opinion, there hasn't been really official confirmation. Only from her ex-husband, Aaron, who would have a lot of reasons to lie and such. So I don't think he's 100% credible, but she's rumored to be the one that to be Nick's affair. I guess not affair, because affair I guess would mean that Kayla didn't know, but she does. I don't know, but whatever. She's a woman that allegedly Nick has been having sex with alongside his wife. She recently moved in with them when she was getting her divorce. But anyways, if you guys remember, she got arrested alongside the Rekietas, but she was let go without any charges. And people were saying that, oh, she must have talked. She must have talked. Well, now she has just been charged with felony drug possession as well. And AF Streaming says this is likely due to police understanding that lies were told on the day. She's not the nanny. Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but she when they got arrested, they said, Nick said, oh, she just was visiting. Kayla said, oh, she lives here. So I guess there's some confusion at the time. I don't know, but now she's officially getting charged. So complainant submits this complaint to the court and states that there is probable cause to believe defendant committed the following offenses: charged drugs, 5th degree possession, schedule 1, 2, 3, or 4, not small amounts of marijuana, felony. on or about April or May 23rd, 2024, in the county of Canandaigua, Minnesota, April Diane Emolt did possess one or more mixtures containing a controlled substance. To wit, possessed more than 0.25 grams of cocaine. This is the I love you. So this is just gonna go back apparently over all of Nick's crap, or all that happened that day. Let's see. Rekieta, and Molt were located in the master bedroom. Officers noted the house was extremely cluttered. We're still waiting on that body cam footage, by the way. So this was the following that was discovered. So basically, they're using the same evidence they had against a Molt. Okay, so a Molt purse was located in the hallway inside the master bedroom, leading to the attached bathroom. The total, okay, that's the total. Okay. So then Kayla informed child protection workers that a Molt is their living nanny. So that's the update, really. And this whole she's not the nanny; she's in a polycule with the Rekietas. I guess getting tattoos together in public wasn't such a pro-attorney move. So there was a post that of pictures of Rekieta and April, and later on Kayla going to like a tattoo convention and all that stuff, which is something Nick has done a lot. Let's see if I can find the pictures. Oh my god. Apparently, it's such impossible to find these fucking things. All right, I can't find the damn. Can't find it. No big deal. I don't care. Anyways, they were seen at a tattoo convention, basically. So nothing too crazy. Okay, and then there's another update. Coquita update. Minnesota Public Records made a new post. Apparently, the Guardians ad lithium. I think that's the lawyers for the kids. Obtained the Rekieta's drug test results, hair follicle test, and Nick is asking for them to be inadmissible. Why would it matter if they weren't positive? Nick is also asking again for the records to be sealed so people can't view the document. Interesting new matter of public record attached, attempting to decipher the bizarre tweets yesterday. Could benefit from some context if that 423 timestamp in your screenshot is Nick's time zone or anything close. Then it would have been shortly after leaving his CHIPS pretrial hearing with Judge Hansen, no longer Heingelson, at 3 p.m. CST yesterday, that the seemingly spiraling tone of The tweets makes one wonder if perhaps that hearing didn't go well for him. So let's take a look at exactly what Nick tried to accomplish there, shall we? Apparently, at 3:43 p.m., just one business day before the hearing, with little chance for the state to respond and with no affidavits building on the record or even so much as a proposed order, Nick's crack legal team slipped in a motion revealing that after Rekieta took those OFT mentioned May hair follicle tests and then oddly revoked MMI's consent to disclose those results to any state agency, the Guardian at Lithium somehow managed to get her hands on those results anyway and also gave them to other parties. Because the Rekieta apparently took those May hair follicle tests at the suggestion of their then counsel, the motion cites to attorney's work product doctrine to beg the judge to deem those test results inadmissible as evidence, and also ordered all parties to never, ever, ever speak of them again. Oh, and the motion also asked the gal be fired for her dastardly deeds, obtaining the highly relevant information in the first place. Anybody would want to hazard a guess as to why Nick would be so very hard to suppress those test results if they came back negative. Because they didn't come back negative, it came out positive. As you'll see from the motion, Nick also appears to think he's done more than enough on his case. Plans for the judge to simply order the kids can be moved back in ASAP, or at least order that the grandparents and children can all move into Nick's house, which would seemingly pretty crowded. Which would seem pretty crowded unless the plans would include Nick and Kayla simultaneously moving over to April's house or elsewhere. Nick also apparently seething enough for the motion to yet again ask the judge to unilaterally order the presumptive public case file to be made confidential across the board because he's a grandiose public figure deserving special treatment, even though a judge already refused the same request weeks ago and denial previously on here at post number 1111,393 and had deferred the issue to a motion and hearing that's already been scheduled to August 9th. The results, sadly, there will still be no written order as of yet, and it's possible that there was only a ruling from the bench and various things taken under advisement. But as you'll see in the attachment, it at least doesn't seem like Judge Hanson agreed to fire the gal so far, as she followed up with filing her trial exhibit list later in the afternoon. Then the hearing, it doesn't seem that like Judge Hanson to exclude the May hair test results either, as the gal filing later that afternoon planned to introduce results at trial. Nor does it seem like Hanson was very receptive to the idea of returning the kids to the parental home immediately. Instead, the trial was simply postponed from late July to late August for some reason. Nor does it seem like Judge Hanson agreed to unilateral seal the file this time around either, because we're still sitting here looking at it. Best luck next time, Nick. I'm assuming that's from the Kiwi Farms, but I don't know. Jesus, I can't read this shit. God damn, I can't read it. Yeah, I can't read any of that. It's like too bright for me to read. I gotta like push my face all the way up. All right, well, I'm not gonna try and read this. So there you go. So that's more of an update. So, look, we all knew, okay, no matter what Nick says, we all knew. Oh, here's the Kiwi Farms thread. We all knew that Nick was gonna Nick. We all knew Nick was gonna be fucking doing the drugs. He was doing the cocaine. Okay, we all knew that. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay. So there we go. All right. Please take note that on July 15th, 2024, As soon or thereafter, court counsel may be heard. The children, pursuant to Minnesota our Juve Protect Prod 4210, will move the court to 1. Allow the children to return home to their parents. 2. As a less preferable alternative, allow the children to return to live with their parents, with their grandparents also moving into the parents' residence. If the courts will not allow 1 or 2, allow the children to have unsupervised visits, including overnight visits with their parents. 4, if the court won't allow 1, 2, or 3, allow the children to have supervised visits with their parents, including overnight visits. Which visits would be supervised by the children's grandparents. And 5, grant such other relief the court deems appropriate. Suppressing the results of any hair follicle test taken by the parents on the basis those tests were products by the attorney work product doctrine are protected. Sorry. See, prohibit any parties from mentioning the parents took any hair follicle tests on the basis that those tests are protected by blah blah blah, or that I guess. Oh no, that's just the mentioning. So for the same reason, removing the gal in this matter pursuant to Rule 904.0 or period 05 E on the basis that she improperly accessed the hair follicle test results that were protected by the attorney work product doctrine and improperly shared the results of those tests with the agency and the children's attorney without having proper release of information. Issue a protective order pursuant to Rule 8.07 prohibiting public access to the case proceedings and the record that would otherwise be public on the basis that the father is a public figure, social media influencer with over 400K followers. Petition of this matter, including the unredacted names and dates of birth for the minor children, have been shared on social media platforms, including YouTube, where it has had over 2,200 views. The redacted version has had over 40K views. All right. Let's see. Ordering the agency to provide the following discovery: chain of custody records relating to the children's hair follicle test, instrument printouts from Omega Laboratories, including chromatograms, positive and negative controls relating to the children's hair follicle test, SOP manual for Omega Laboratories, curriculum vitae for all Omega Laboratory scientists who tested the children's hair samples, error rates of Omega Laboratories, blanks relating to the children's hair follicle test, and controls relating to the children's hair follicle test. What's this here? Notice of hearing. You're hereby notice that the hearing in the above entitled matter will take place in the court on the following date. So the pretrial motion hearing will be August 7th, 2024. Pretrial and motion hearing, 9 a.m. August 27th to 29th, 2024. Court trial, 8:30 a.m. It's just, okay. So I don't know. Let's see. Oh, okay. So this is the matter of the welfare of the children. So this is the children's hearing. This isn't the criminal hearing. Okay. And then these are the exhibits that may be presented or relied upon. The hair follicle test of Kayla and Nicholas. Any and all documents and pleadings or exhibits previously filed with the court involving one or more children who are related to the subject of this matter, whether the court files or any other related or relevant court file. Any and all court orders in the court file or any court matters involving one or more of the parties or one or more of the children who are subject to this matter. Any exhibits listed and submitted via Minnesota digital exhibit systems by any other parties to this matter. So there we go. There we go. That's the update on the Nick stuff. All right. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm just saving this. So there we go. All right. So now let's hear from Nick about this stuff. So again, Nick was on Chrissie Mayer's show the other day. Apparently, last time this guy, this is So Thorough Joe Burrow. Apparently, last time he uploaded this, he got hit with like some copyright strikes or something, so he had to re-upload it by. Actually, let's look at the description. All right, in this clip, Nick Rekieta of at Rekieta Law dispels rumors, mostly started by Aaron and Multi of Steel Toe Morning Show. Sorry for the bells and whistles. I tried to post a straight clip, but was threatened by Frank Pellegrino and at Chrissie Mayr that I had to make it transformative or they would be striking my channel. Add the horse noises was actually Frank's idea. Oh, Frank, enjoy Husband of the Year. So there we go. So last time this guy tried to use this stuff, they were like, meh. So let's see.
Once the county asked us for drug tests, we complied immediately. We've been complying ever since. People think that we paid, we posted bond. Both Lady Rackets and I posted bond for unconditional release. But that was the criminal case. The family case, we've been under conditions for quite some time. And, people may have questions about why you post bond. There's a ton of good reasons to post bond, depending on how long your case is and what you have to do. If you're going to be under, this is just general advice for people. If you have a substance charge in Minnesota and you go and you get arrested, they're going to release you. And if they release you on conditions, the condition is going to be complying with random drug testing. Well, that random drug testing is going to cost you $75 a shot. Random drug testing for several months, then you just have to do a math formula of how much your bond costs and how much you're going to pay in drug testing. And so we were arrested May 23rd. Our first hearing is August 21st, our next hearing. And then after that, it could be several months past that. Well, if you're going to be on drug testing through that program, you're going to pay $75 every 2 to 4 days. Person. So if you're going to do that, well, if you get tested 10 times, it's $700, $750 a month. If you get tested 10 times in a month, which is a very kind of normal average outcome. And so if you pay your unconditional bond, if you're going to be on release or whatever for 3, 4, 5 months, it starts to become a pretty easy cost proposition to say, well, I can pay. For us, it was $5,000 up front. So you pay $5,000, or you're going to pay more than $5,000 as you go through this thing.
Now I will say that like this makes sense. Okay, this what he's talking about here. The whole like, hey, you're gonna have to pay money out to do all this crap. It's gonna cost you X amount. So for us just to pay bond just seemed to be like paying all that money up front seemed a lot more intelligent than to be on bond and not have to pay that much. That makes sense to me. All right, I'm not gonna knack Nick for this. I think he's a terrible father at this point, but I'm not. I understand his reasoning. This makes sense to me. Like if you're gonna have to like it's gonna probably cost you more depending on how long it's going to be, how long it takes for your trial and everything be squared away, so that so those tests could be, depending on how often they want to test you, they'll probably it'll probably be a good uh, pretty penny. So again, in all honesty, this makes sense to me. Okay, this makes sense. I can see where Nick is coming from. Now, could it also be he just wanted to be ability to like continue doing his drugs? Maybe, but apparently he's also under conditional. He's under conditions for his children being able to see his children and stuff. So that might tamper any of that. But again, what Nick's talking about makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. It's everything. Like pretty much everything you do, especially when it comes to law, it's a cost benefit analysis. Like how much is it going to cost me, and what are the benefits in the end? So if you're looking at it, it's like I can pay the bond outright, no conditions, and I'm good to go. Or I can go and be released on bond, or released and have conditions, and then I'm gonna have to pay $75 every time they want to drug test me. Who knows how many times in a year, 2 years, 3 years they're gonna want to drug test me. So you might end up having to pay more than what you'd have to pay if you just bonded out with no conditions. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So far the bonding part makes sense. Now let's see what I wonder how long it'll take him, but let's see what dispels him of his of his drug use.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like there's a time where paying for the gas up front can be very advantageous. Because you don't want to pay for it on the back.
I never
Usually get a pretty good price on the gas.
So apparently, this guy gave Chrissie Mayr horse noises when she talks as a little fight back.
Okay, I haven't seen the toll one, but I haven't rented a car in a while. But yeah, so people assume that because we paid for our unconditional bond in the criminal case that we haven't had drug testing and we haven't complied or some other nonsense. And it's like, no, I think the first drug test we turned in was at our hearing on June 7th. And then after that, we were ordered, it was June 6th or June 7th. After that, we were ordered to comply with drug testing. And we have, like, the entire time. And shocker, they're all clean. It's amazing.
I mean, if they're all clean, why are you fighting for the hair follicle test to be? Well, I mean, I guess afterwards. I guess never mind. Afterwards, yeah, it makes sense that these would be these clean, of course. But the hair follicle test, you're trying to fight to not let them release. It's kind of interesting.
But yeah, people assume that we're just sitting around, and that restriction's great. Like that includes alcohol and everything. You can't do anything. It's amazing. Just your thoughts and your sweet tea. Yeah, we see our kids right now. We see them 5 times a week, and they'll be back in our house really soon.
I don't know about that, Nick. Doesn't seem. I don't remember. Doesn't seem like it. Doesn't sound like it.
Again, it's another misconception. People think, again, they've created this fiction in their head that the state thinks that we like abused our children or that we did anything other than the state's position is that there's this statute that says this happened. And again, without making any admissions or denials on stream publicly, that's the state's position, is that we're charged with this under this statute. All of the other stuff that people have created about like child endangerment, child neglect, child maltreatment, that's not in the state's case. They don't believe that that's happened. And guys, they talk to the kids. They talk to fucking everybody you know. And what they find in our case is pretty simple. The community knows that we're very involved in our kids' lives. Our kids love the hell out of us. Our kids are all in very good health. No one saw any signs or symptoms of any of the stuff that the internet has created. So, we're on track to get our kids back relatively quickly for this county, which is, in my opinion, way too long. But that being said, they'll be back really soon. Sorry to dispel that one, guys, but we're not charged with the things that people on the internet have decided that we have, and we're not even accused of them. Not just that we're not charged, it's that they don't have any information leading to the conclusion that that our kids are mistreated. So we've seen them throughout this entire process, and it's just been building towards the state being confident that there's not some substance in the home. It's like, that means the state can come and look, and they do. They did yesterday. It was great. You get to give the state a nice tour of your house whenever they want. Yeah, but yeah, again, there's a lot of I guess headcanon that's out there that people have, and it's incorrect. And like, I wish I could just correct it all, like, all the time. You want to, when you like read about it or hear someone talk about it, or you get a message and you're like, I wish I just could sit there, but you can't sit and do it. One, that can get really problematic for your case if you're talking all the time. Two, you just don't have time to address it all.
Oh man. All right. So there you go. That's the end. Oh man, it's the end of it. So it looks like Nick's very confident he's gonna have his kids. From what we just read, that may not be true. But he does have a hearing on the kids stuff August 27th, next week, and then the trial is what, the 27th and 24th to the 27th or something like that? No, not 24th, probably 26th to the 29th. What did it say? Hold on. Bring that back up. 27th to the 29th. So that's going to be a month from now, roughly. So that's going to be Tuesday through Thursday. And that's a children's case. So we'll see. We'll see how accurate what actually happens. But let's move on. All right, done with Nick. Done talking about Nick. Let's move on. All right, so Jennifer Aniston blasts JD Vance's past comments about women without children. Truly can't believe this. Aniston, who previously shared her IVF story, said she prays Vance's daughter is fortunate enough to bear children of her own one day. All right, Jennifer Aniston truly can't believe that Senator J.D. Vance could become the next vice president of the U.S. after hearing his resurfaced 2021 comment that women like Vice President Kamala Harris, who have not given birth, are childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives. Well, is that incorrect, really? So that's what she says. That's what he said that has got her all uppity. I mean, childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, I would say. All right. So apparently, Aniston wrote, all I can say, Mr. Vance, I pray that your daughter is fortunate enough to bear children of her own. Aniston, 55, who has shared her personal IVF story in the past, wrote on her Instagram stories Wednesday, July 24th. I hope she will not need to turn to IVF as a second option. Aniston continues, because you are trying to take that away from her too. So here's his full comments, apparently. All right. So J.D. Vance says women who haven't given birth, like Kamala Harris, are childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and have no direct stake in America. It's actually kind of accurate. Let's see. So Aniston posts include a screenshot of a tweet resurfacing Vance's July 2021 interview with then Fox News host Tucker Carlson. In an interview, the Ohio Republican 39 said the U.S. was being run by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. Okay. Vance, who Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump named his running mate on July 15th, then mentioned Harris, Secretary Pete Buttigieg, and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Harris is now running for president after Biden withdrew from the 2024 presidential race. Just a basic fact. You look at Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, AOC. The entire future of the Democratic Party is controlled by people without children. I mean, is he wrong? Vance told Carlson. And how does it make any sense that we turned our country over to people who don't really have a direct stake in it? Again, is that really true? Is that incorrect? Harris is a stepmother to her husband, Doug Emhoff. 2 children, son Cole, 29, and daughter Ayla, 25. I have a question. Let's see. Okay. So, Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff got married in August 22nd, 2014. So about 10 years ago. Almost 10 years ago. So when the son was 19 and the daughter was 15, okay? Let's say they dated for like a year, okay? Like it's not really enough time to really be an actual like mother. Like by then the kids are pretty self-sufficient. They don't really need a lot of the mother stuff, okay? Don't get me wrong, mothers are still important, but like it's at that point it's not as necessary. All right. Especially with a 19-year-old. So Cole 19. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, so they dated for about a year. Okay, so they dated about a year. So Cole was 18 and Ayla was 14. Again, I mean, like, look, mothers are important. As Emma, let's see. I mean, it sounds like she's still alive. Yeah, she's still alive. Okay. The mother of the children. So, like, again, Kamal's not really a mother to them. Like, look, it's I mean, as long as the mother's still active in their lives, it's not really necessary. All right, Aniston told Lur in November 2022, it was really hard to see the pregnancy rumors that plagued her throughout her career. All the years and years and years of speculation. It was really hard, she said. I was going through IVF, drinking Chinese teas, you name it. I was throwing everything at it. I would give anything if someone had said to me, freeze your eggs, do yourself a favor. You just don't think it. The rumors that she and ex Brad Pitt split over not having children or that she chose her career over children or over kids were absolute lies. It's probably accurate that she chose her career over her kids because obviously she never had kids. Aniston didn't provide specifics about her IVF journey, later adding, here I am today. The ship has sailed. I actually feel real relief because there's no more can I. I don't have to think about that anymore, which is why you're still bitter. Let's see. After the Allure interview was published, and the source told people Aniston was at peace and is very happy in her life. I doubt that. In 2016, false pregnancy reports inspired Aniston to write an essay for the Huffington Post about how fed up she was with them and that they say about those who spread them. Here's where I come out on this topic. We are complete with or without a mate, with or without children. That's not true. We get to decide for ourselves what is beautiful when it comes to our bodies. That decision is ours and ours alone. Aniston wrote, let's make the decision for ourselves and for the young women in the world who look to us as examples. Let's make the decision conscious outside of tabloids. We don't need to be married or mothers to be complete. Yeah, you do. We get to determine our own happily ever after for ourselves. Not really. Now, here's something. Okay, she's not at peace or very happy with her in her life because Vance's comments are offended her so much that she decides to tweet it. So what did JD Vance say? He says women who who haven't given birth. He doesn't even say can't. He just said who haven't given birth, like Kamala Harris, are childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and have no direct stake in America. What about that is incorrect? I ask you. Okay, what about that is incorrect? Hashtag facts, right? Everything he said was pretty factual, honestly. They are childless cat ladies who are miserable with their own lives. And it's true because it's true for especially for Jennifer Aniston because she decided to comment on it. All right, we're human beings. We don't comment on something if it doesn't bother us. If we really could give two shits what someone says, normally most people don't comment. Okay, most people don't comment unless it bothers us or there's some sort of gain. There's nothing to really gain for Aniston here. At least I don't see anything for her to gain. But it shows what happened was she saw this comment, heard this comment from JD Vance, took it personally, and got upset. Here's something you need to know, Jennifer. It's your own damn fault. You pushed off having kids for forever. And now you're 55 or however old you are. What is she, 55 now? Yeah, you're 55. You haven't had any children. You can't have any children because you're too old. You're too focused on being some hoe on the internet or in the celebrity world. I mean, you're Rachel, and you just rode that high. And look, Jennifer Aniston's a fine actress, and everything like that. But she's old, and she's probably upset. Let's see. All her marriages have failed. Let's see. Does she have siblings? Okay, so she has half brothers. She's got two half brothers. She's the only girl. Look. Yeah, Jennifer Aniston just took this personally. That's what all this is. All it is. Okay. She this whole. I hope she will not need to turn to IVF as a second option because you're trying to take that away from her too. Okay. Look, most of the time IVF is only needed for old women who put off having kids. I'm sure he's going to raise his daughter to try and have kids as early as possible. Or to start a family as early as she can with a good man. Something else I wanted to comment about. Oh yeah, there's nothing actually incorrect about what Vance says. How old is AOC? Oh, she's 34. All right, she's about to be about to be fucking useless too. But yeah, again, there's nothing that JD Vance actually said in this particular post that's incorrect. Okay. And then her little comment that let's see, we get to we don't need to be married or mothers to be complete. Yes, you do. All right, look, ladies. All right, look, it doesn't matter what you think is true. Here's what is true. if you're going to end up being happy and fulfilled in this world, you're going to have to get married to a man you love and admire, respect. You're going to have kids with him. Okay. That's the only way you're going to actually feel true contentment and true happiness. That's all that is going to really, that's what it takes. Whether you like it or not, that's what it's going to take. Be mad about it if you want, but it's 100% true. And look, Kamala is a stepmom. It doesn't really count. As much as that's as horrible as that may sound, it's one thing when you're a stepmother and you come in early enough in the years and all that, and you can still have some influence around the kids. But her husband's kids were when her and her husband met were shit. Where is it? Okay, no, further down. Sorry, were 18 and 14 at the time. All right, they don't really need your influence, and they have their own mother. So it was kind of, you don't really get that motherliness you need. They still need to be fairly young for you to get that, like around Vance's kid's age. That's when you can actually, get the feeling of actually being a mother and whatnot. And honestly, while you can still have a connection to stepkids and stuff like that, it's not going to be the same when it's not going to be the same as if when you give when you carry them and give birth to them yourself. There's just a bond that you'll get far deeper with your own kids than you will with stepkids or adopted kids. Not that you shouldn't do it. Okay, you find someone that you really care about, love, and all that shit, and they're a good individual, and all that, and you want to go for it. I don't give two shits. But I think there is a less of a bond when they're not actually yours. It's just what it is. Now that doesn't mean you can't love them just as much or as much as your kids, but there's a deep bond you'll have, especially with women. There's a deep bond you're always going to have with your kids when you're the one who carried them, felt them move for the first time, felt them growing inside you, for 9 months, and then finally, being the one that that they entered the world from. Like, there's just this bond that you're gonna end up having with kids that it's far deeper than ones that you didn't. And whether you like it or not, that's true. But Jennifer Aniston, the only reason Jennifer Aniston is saying shit like this, like we don't need to be married or mothers to be complete, is because she's unmarried and not a mom, and she doesn't feel complete, and she knows it, but she's trying to make some bullshit like, oh, I'm completely happy. No, if you're completely happy, Vance's comments wouldn't really matter to you. And here's why. They weren't directed at you. Okay. He wasn't saying like, oh, he was talking specifically about childless cat ladies that are in Publix, are in the public, the Democratic Party and running the Democratic Party. He was specifically talking about them. He wasn't specifically talking about all childless cat ladies. I mean, the vagueness of this tweet, could lead someone, but when you actually apparently watch the entire interview, you can see he's more specifically talking about the politicians. At least that's what I get from it. But yeah, Jennifer Aniston is just a miserable cat lady, and that's why she was upset by the comments. Simple as that. Simple. All right, moving on. All right, so Laura Loomer exposed something. Exposed support for Kamala Harris on TikTok _US and Instagram is fake and paid for. Social media support for Kamala Harris is paid for astroturfing. At Kamala Harris's presidential campaign appears to be paying for social media influencers to post videos and post in support of her, which is further evidence that her online social media support is fake and paid for. I have discovered that a company named by the name of Launch Viral is running advertisements for social media influencers who are interested in a paid post opportunity to get paid to post in support of Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. I screen recorded the advertisement below, which is offering 150K or 150 cash plus incentives per post. The ad says, we're asking you to, 1, encourage your fans to share, like, and follow Kamala. 2, create 1 or more memes only using our pre-approved assets. Yeah. Feel free to add your own spin or commentary on your TikTok and IG too. Would be awesome. Post Post your comment on TikTok, Instagram, or both. Mention at Kamala Harris, hashtag Kamala Harris, hashtag Harris 2024. The media wants you to believe falsely believe that the surge of support for Kamala Harris on TikTok and other social media sites by Gen Z is organic, but just as I just exposed, it's being paid for by social media influencers, agencies like Launch Viral. Kamala Harris is so unlikable. Her campaign, Kamala HQ, literally has paid influencers to create the illusion and delusion that young people support her. So here's what she's talking about. So there we go. Honestly, makes a lot of sense to me. Like, there's a bunch of polls lately that have been like, oh, Kamala Harris is so like she's gonna outbeat Trump by a landslide, blah 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 blah, like all these polls. And I've been sitting here like, I don't feel like this is true. It doesn't seem accurate. There's nothing like you're telling me the woman who who had her own failed presidential run, like got blown out of the water by Tulsi Gabbard, is now, being so supported that everyone just loves her so much. Like, I mean, does that make sense to anyone? Doesn't make any sense to me. Like, she got so destroyed in the primaries last time that like she dropped out not long after Tulsi Gabbard owned her. All right. And then Laura Loom recently posted, why are all the news networks showing stupid videos of Kamala Harris on TikTok in an effort to make it seem like she has a surge of support on social media from social media influence? This is fake news, and I proved it. As exposed below, support for Kamala Harris on TikTok and Instagram is fake and astroturfed. Her campaign is putting out paid ads via Rick Schreimer's company's Launch Viral, in which they offered to pay people $150 cash, a violation of FEC rules, by the way, plus a bonus incentive if they pretend to support Kamala on TikTok and Instagram. Donald Trump does not need to pay. So there we go. So there we are. So what do you think? Is the drive behind Kamala real, or after seeing this report, do you think maybe there's something else going on? Maybe it's a little fake. What do you think? And before we get into our main event here, why don't you like the video? Very appreciative. If you just like that video, just like it, please. All right, so moving on. Last but simply not least, we're going to check out the TPU SA rally that that Trump had. It's got him in some hot water because apparently, I don't know, he's not a Christian. Says he's not a Christian. I don't fucking know. So we're going to listen to this in. This is at 1.5 speed. I'm doing this because specifically because it's a 58-minute video. So let's check this out.
Picture, we don't really notice that there is a bandage on.
Hello, everyone. I just landed in Charlotte. We have a tremendous rally, unbelievable crowds. People can't even.
Pennsylvania occurred in which there was agency of
everybody
comment on that during his remarks. Let's listen in.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. This is a nice crowd. We're going to be talking a little bit about a wonderful thing called religion tonight. Is that okay? A little bit more than normal, and that's good. That's really good. And I just want to say hello to everybody and to Turning Point for the fantastic job that Turning Point does. Thank you very much, Turning Point. This is a great group. This is from corner to corner. This room is packed, and there are a lot of people outside, but we have to forget about them, right? We just have to. That's the way life goes. But I'm thrilled to be back with so many proud, hardworking American patriots who believe in faith and family, God and country. Thank you very much. And we want to thank each and every one of the believers in this. Something was working, that we know. Something was working, so I thank you very much. And I stand before you tonight thanks to the power of prayer and the grace of Almighty God. As I think you can see, I've recovered well, and in fact, just took off the last bandage off of my ear. I just got it off. I took it off for this group. I don't know why I did that for this group, but that's it. I think that's it. I hope that's it. Let me also thank Charlie Kirk for hosting this event and for his leadership, as well as Bishop Aubrey Shines. Thank you, Bishop. A great friend of mine, a tremendous woman of faith. Pastor Paula White is here, and she's been so incredible wherever you may be, Paula. Where's Paula? She is fantastic. Thanks, Paula. Pastor Jensen Franklin, one of the biggest, one of the most powerful, one of the greats. Thank you, Pastor. He's been with us from day one. Pastor Lorenzo Sewell, whose church I visited in Detroit, and this guy can speak. Where is he? He can speak. He spoke at the convention, and I'll tell you, nobody wanted to follow him. Where is he? Where is that, Pastor? Whoa, hello, Pastor. Nobody wanted to follow him, I can tell you that. There was the people said, I'll pass. You were fantastic. Thank you very much, Pastor. It was an honor to be in Detroit, and we were in serious Detroit, right? That was the real Detroit. Thank you very much. So respected, such a wonderful man. And speaking of respect, Secretary Ben Carson, what a great guy. Nobody like him. Former ESPN anchor, Sage Steele. Thank you, Sage. Sage has been terrific. She's been terrific, amazing person. Another amazing person is a man named Peter Navarro. Peter Navarro, a patriot, one of the best trade people ever. He understood China better than anybody but me. I understood him better. No, we both understood. Where is Peter? What a great guy. Peter, all right, you Peter, there he is. Peter, thank you very much. What a great guy. He got it. He got it. It was something special, and he's going to come back with us, I think. Peter, you coming back with us wherever? Yeah, there you are. Thank you, Peter. He's coming back. He really did. He understood trade. He understood it better than just about anybody. He understood how we were being ripped off for years and years and years, and nobody did anything about it, but we did. And today we're delighted to announce the launch of our new coalition, Believers for Trump. Believers, you're believers for Trump. As you know, 5 days ago, we officially defeated the worst president in the history of the United States, crooked Joe Biden. You know, I thought a lot about it. We defeated him. He was badly beaten. And, you know, everybody was going to him and said, you can't beat him. You're not going to beat this guy. You can't beat him. Get out. Get out. We want you out. There was nothing nice about what they were doing. And they were saying, we want you out of the race. You're going to lose. We want to put somebody else in. How about that? It's like a prize fighter. He's losing badly, ready to be knocked out. And they say, well, wait, let's stop the fight. Let's put somebody else in. It doesn't work that way. And it's not supposed to work that way. And this really was a coup by the Democrats. This was a coup, nothing else. He got 14 million votes. I hate to stick up for Biden, but, you know, he didn't want to do what he did. He said, I'll never go out. I'll never, ever go out. 2 days later, I'm proud to go out. Because the fascists went after him. They threatened him with the 25th Amendment. They said, we can do it the nice way or we can do it the hard way, Joe. That's what happened. I know as many people on that side as I know on our side, so to speak. But that's what happened. They said, we can do it the hard way. We can do it the easy way. 25th Amendment if you don't go. And he said, oh, I'll go. And now they're trying to make him into a brave hero. He's so brave. Last night the other night he made a speech behind the beautiful Resolute desk in the Oval Office. And look, I'm not looking to knock. I want to give people credit or not credit.
That particular one, it looked so recorded. It was crazy.
It was horrible. And then you turn on to like CNN and MSDNC, the worst. It's just horrible. And they're saying one of the finest speeches we've ever seen. I mean, Churchillian, somebody said Churchill, Winston Churchill. No, Winston had it on him a little bit. It was so bad, and they pretended it was good. And they're doing the same thing with her. She was a bum 3 weeks ago. She was a bum. A failed vice president in a failed administration with millions of people crossing, and she was the border czar. Now they're trying to say she never was the border czar. She had nothing to do with the border. She was the border czar. They're trying to take it. They're deleting it.
It's so funny. She was absolutely the border czar. And the social media is trying to, or the media is trying to like remove that. They're like, oh, she was never actually a border czar. Because, you know, she didn't have the official title of border czar. But was it Axios called her the border czar? Everyone called her the border czar until Trump started, or the Republicans started calling her the border czar. So funny.
All over the place. They want to take it because we have the worst border in history. And 3.5 years ago, we had the best border that we've ever had. In fact, my chart that I looked over to the right, that chart, you know, the famous chart that showed we had the best numbers in history, at least recorded history on the border. That chart probably saved my life. Can you believe it? Because I looked over. If I didn't look over, I got a problem. Wasn't too good anyway. Did you see the FBI today apologize? I said, well, it might have been a bullet, but it might have been glass. Oh, really? Where did the glass come from? Or it might have been shrapnel. Where did the shrapnel come from? No, they then said it was a bullet. They just try and do it. It just never ends with these people. They raid Mar-a-Lago. They do things so bad, so bad. Our country is so sick, but they apologize. We accept their apology. So now we have a new candidate to defeat the most incompetent, unpopular, and far-left vice president in American history. That's what she is, the most incompetent, but certainly the most far-left. Together, 4 months from now, we're going to defeat Kamala Harris, who a short time ago strongly fought to defund the police and the radical left Democrat Party. We're going to take back that very beautiful White House, and we're going to make America great again, guaranteed, and it's going to go fast. With your vote, I will defend religious liberty in all of its forms. I will protect Christians in our schools, in our military, in our government, in our workplaces, in our hospitals, and in our public square. And I will also protect other religions. We want that, right? Other religions. And we will bring our country back together, one nation under God. But if radical, liberal Kamala Harris gets in, and by the way, there are numerous ways of saying her name. They were explaining to me, you can say Kamala, you can say Kamala. I said, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter what I say. I couldn't care less. If I mispronounce it or not, I couldn't care less. Some people think I mispronounce it on purpose, but actually I've heard it said about 7 different ways. There are a lot of ways. There are a lot of ways. But if radical liberal Kamala Harris gets in, you will have the exact opposite effect. Harris will appoint hundreds of extreme far-left judges to forcibly impose crazy San Francisco liberal values on Americans nationwide. Now, you've seen what's happened to San Francisco. It was the best city maybe in our entire country 15 years ago. And now it's barely livable. That's what she's the one that started. She was an original defunder. She was a defunder of this. She said, let's defund the police. She was the first one to start it. But now, of course, she's tough. She's not. They always, one thing about a politician, I guess including me, you always go back to your original thought. Now, my original thoughts were very good. You like my original thought? I'm the only one out there that probably got worse. It's true. My original thoughts, you always go back to them. And she went back to them, and she will go back. If she ever got in, she will go back to all of those horrible original thoughts that she had. She'll appoint hardcore Marxists to the Supreme Court to shred our Constitution and all of our religious liberty. She will do that, absolutely. She will try as hard as she can to add as many justices as possible to the U.S. Supreme Court. We don't want that to happen, do we? We like our 9 justices the way they are. We don't want to have 17. I've heard numbers 21. 21 sounds like a great number. What about 23? They want to have an odd number. That's the only thing we agree on. In other words, she wants to pack the court, which is their #1 agenda, and we can't let that.
Yeah, Joe Biden just put in a whole thing about the court is the new Supreme Court reform. We're going to get into that tomorrow.
That happen. We're not going to let that happen. We're not going to have anybody added. We're going to do it the way we've done it for many, many years. That's really a stopper. It's a stopper. The Supreme Court. And by the way, you can take a look. There have been many things that have happened over the last few years where there's been great uniformity on things that aren't necessarily conservative, but they did the right thing. That's what's supposed to be happening, and that's what's happened. They've done the right thing, but they can't pack the court. The hordes of illegal aliens storming across our borders will exceed 40 or 50 million by the time they're finished. That's what they want. They want millions. You know the number, I believe the real number already, or very close, is 20 million people have come across our border. Think of it. Over a very short period of time, with 4 more years of Harris, who was worse than Joe Biden in a true sense and far more liberal, America will be decimated by migrant crime, demolished by fascism, ravaged by rampant inflation, and impoverished by the complete obliteration of American energy. They don't want any fossil fuel no matter what. In other words, good luck. I hope you enjoy walking to work. You know what makes electricity, right? Fossil fuel. They don't understand that.
They really don't. It seems like they want to be like, oh, we're going to eliminate all fossil fuels. And then there's no actual plan to actually do any of that. They just want it to be gone like that and then call it a day.
You know, it comes from...
It's really ridiculous. They're like, let's just do that, eliminate everything we need for our electricity, and we have no plan to actually do anything about it. Because I've yet to hear an actual plan to like, look, if you want to get us out of fossil fuels and have us on, that's fine. But most of the time I hear that, I don't see any actual viable plans. It's just a bunch of talk.
Someplace, right? Comes from fossil fuel. I'm here tonight because we must never let that happen. Our task is to defeat socialism, to defeat Marxism, communism, to defeat the cartels and the criminals and the human traffickers trafficking women. And that means defeating Kamala Harris in a landslide. We want a landslide this November. We want something too big to rig, too big to rig. Too big to rig, too big to rig. We cannot let this, I have to say, once great country, but we'll soon be a great country again. But right now, we don't feel like this is a great country. We're a laughing stock all over the world, but we can't let our country fail. As everyone here understands, the radical left ideology Kamala supports is really militantly hostile toward Americans of faith. And you saw that during the pandemic where people couldn't get together. Even when they wanted to get together with big spaces outside, they were ravaged. As a senator, she viciously attacked highly qualified judicial nominees simply because they were members of the Knights of Columbus, suggesting that their Catholic faith disqualified them from serving on the federal bench. And I'll tell you something, I don't know, we have a lot of Catholics in here, probably not too many. How many Catholics do we have? Whoa, that's a lot. I don't know how a Catholic can vote for the Democrats because they're after the Catholics. Almost as much as they're after me. I would say I top you, I'm proud to admit. But they're really after the Catholics. And you know, I met today with Bibi Netanyahu, and I will tell you, I asked him a question, and he said he's getting asked that question a lot. I said, how can a Jewish person or a person that loves Israel vote, think of this, vote for these parties? I mean, how can they vote Democrat? How can they vote for these horrible people that want to destroy? But I asked them, how do they vote for Democrats? Everything is negative. Everything. They want to stay in the way. They don't want to have victory. They want to stop you from having victory. They want to put you in jail. They want to persecute you. How does a Jewish person vote for a Democrat? And traditionally they have. No, traditionally they have. And we came to the conclusion it's mostly habit. Because they have for 50 years. I mean, they have. That's what they've done. But how does a Jewish person vote for a Democrat? How does a Catholic person vote for a Democrat? With what they're doing to Catholics, I just don't get it. Somebody doesn't like Catholics in that administration, and I don't even know who it is. I don't think it's Biden because I don't think he has any idea what the hell he's doing. I don't think he has any ideas on any subject. Kamala Harris supports California's outrageous new law trampling on parental rights and allowing minors to change their gender without parental notification or consent. Can you imagine? She's in favor of that, by the way. Or she was. She's probably losing. You know, they're losing as much as they can. But remember, a politician always goes back to where they started. Harris wants to forcibly compel doctors and nurses against their will to give chemical castration drugs to young children. You know that, right? She totally supports that. And she supports the Biden-Harris Title IX policy of forcing every public school in America to let men into women's and girls' locker rooms. Can you imagine? It's like, what are we doing? What? You know, the whole world is laughing at us. You do know that, right? We've gone wacko. As president, I will protect the safety and well-being of America's children. I will defend the values of the American family. And above all, I will restore common sense to Washington, D.C., because Republicans, and I said this for the last year, and I think it's so true, we're conservative and all of that stuff. But you know what? We're the party of common sense. Common sense. We want borders. We want security. We want safety. We want good education. We'd like low interest rates. We'd like to be able to buy a house. We want safety, though. We want safety. We want strength. We want wisdom. We don't want to have an electric car where everybody has an electric car that doesn't go far, is made in China, costs too much. And by the way, and I want to thank Elon Musk for endorsing me, by the way, I have to tell you.
We're listening here to former President Donald Trump speaking in West Palm Beach. We're going to step away for another quick commercial break, and we continue with this next.
Tax-exempt status. So pastors were afraid because they need the tax-exempt status in order to do
Wow. Thanks, Fox.
what they have to do. And we want to listen to our pastors. We don't want them to be silenced because these pastors are incredible people. That's right. I listen to you. Sometimes I don't listen well enough, though, I will say. You know, Franklin Graham, you probably heard me say this. I said it a couple of times, but he's a great guy and always been a supporter of mine. He was never a supporter of people politically, probably can't be, but he was always a supporter and openly. But he wrote me a letter a few weeks ago. He said, President Trump, I love listening to your stories. You're a great storyteller. That was very nice. He said, but please, if it's possible, it'll be even better. Don't use foul language. He told me, please, do away with foul language. If you don't use foul language, it will be even better. And I thought about it, and I tried it for a couple of nights, actually. Actually, it didn't work out so well. It was, you know, when I get to the punchline, I'm ready to use that one word, just one, Franklin, one word. And then I use a politically correct word, and the whole thing just falls flat. But I try. I'm trying, Franklin, I'm telling you. No, he's a good man. He's a good man. I issued guidance making clear that the right to freedom of worship does not end at the door of a public school. We know that. I was the first and only president to convene a meeting at the United Nations to end religious persecution worldwide. That's the first president to do it. They didn't want to get into it. All of these very religious presidents that you've had, you know, religious in quotes, they said, no, we'll pass on that. But I went and I did it, and I was proud to do it. For 4 years, I stood proudly with our friend and ally, the state of Israel. And for them and us, I withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal. We left Iran weak, broke, and unable to fund terror. And we would have had a deal if the election weren't rigged and stolen. We would have had a deal within the first week after the election. Instead, Iran is now a very wealthy country. They were a poor country. I said, nobody can buy from them. If you buy from them, you can't do business with the U.S. And China didn't buy, and nobody bought, and they didn't have the money to give to Hamas and Hezbollah. They had no money. They were broke. A Democrat congressman was on a show called Defaced Nation. Do you know Ladies and gentlemen, it's defaced the nation. You know, they spend millions of dollars with people to try and build up their name, and then Trump comes up, makes a speech. Look at all the television. Trump comes up, makes a speech, and you go deface the nation. So much for that PR campaign. But it's true. It is a defacing of the nation in many cases. The others are no different. ABC, NBC, CBS, they're all bad. You know, we have to bring back an honest press. If we don't bring back honesty in our press, this whole thing is not going to work. But I kept my promise, recognized Israel's eternal capital, and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. It was a big deal. And got it built for $2 billion under budget. Took an old building and reconverted it for peanuts using Jerusalem stone. A friend of mine said, oh, I love Jerusalem stone. He's in New York, big rich guy. Every time I walk into his office, do you know what this is? I know it's Jerusalem stone. You tell me every time, oh, it comes from Jerusalem. So now I'm building. I not only wanted to get it going, but I want to build it because I know I can get it built fast. And they had a building already. They were going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to buy a site in Jerusalem. I said, wait a minute, don't we have something? We checked. Yeah, we always do, because we were there a long time ago. We were there sort of first, always by the post office, like I did in Washington. If you get a post office, it's always the first building that they put in years ago. It's always the best location. So I said, do we have anything yet? And I said, hey, listen to the people. We're going to spend $2 billion on building an embassy. I said, how much do you think we can do it for? We think we can do it for $350,000. So this, we're going to take an old building and reconvert it. I said, 300. It's the only time I ever said this. I said, you know, honestly, it's too low. It sounds too cheap. I've never done that before. Usually I say, okay, let's make it 300, right? Let's make it 250. But I said, I think it's too cheap. It sounds terrible. Do it for under 500,000. Yes, sir. I said, any chance we can use Jerusalem stone? A friend of mine says it's very expensive. He goes, absolutely, sir. It's all over the place. We're in Jerusalem. So we built the whole thing out of Jerusalem stone. Can you believe it? And got it done for nothing. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful embassy.
What the fuck?
And that was the capital of Israel. Every president for decades and decades promised.
I'm going to try and skip because I want to hit the part where there's a little controversy. We'll see if this actually happens.
That they were going to do the Capitol opening, and a lot of my children, a lot of what they go into the White House. But I got it done. I got the building built, and it happened. It's a great day, actually. I've done more for Israel. We created peace in the middle of Israel, in the back of Israel. She said, oh, I can't make it. It was just she doesn't like. Going to change. Together with Joe Biden, she gave billions and billions of dollars to Iran and Hamas. Stories that Hamas is out of business. And the attack on Ukraine by Russia would have never happened. I spoke to. He would have never done it. It was almost, and I said, oh, he's just negotiating. So incompetently done. And I think defeated ISIS in 4. Heinous October 7th attack on Israel. Kamala Harris prayed. Arguments. Did you see this 10 years from now? Syria. And when are they letting them out? You know, we have January 6th. Well, what's happening to these people that have done serious damage? Have they been arrested? Are they in jail now, like the January 6th hostages? And when are they letting them out? You know, we had a great Supreme Court ruling 4 weeks ago that really should let most of them out. When are they coming out? They're still there. When are they coming out? Unlike liberal Kamala, I will support Israel's right to win its war on terror. You have to support that. Got to win. Got to finish it off. And instead of pandering to the jihad sympathizers and America-hating radicals, we will deport them. We will deport them very.
We're going to step away for a.
We sit with the mother and we discuss, and they have laws. Really, if you look at the rape, and you also have to win election, no Kavanaugh, and very, very contentious country. You know that you like it. Something our computerization of or pro-life that this country has never seen before. From the moment I win the election, I will rapidly review the cases of every political prisoner who has been unjustly victimized. Them out poor and they get harassed, freedom in our thugs, students, and landslide. And Pastor Paula White and all of the people, I understand it. But Christians, you know, you'll go to church every Sunday. And Pastor Paula White and all of the people, I understand, they're doing lockboxes in churches where people don't even have to go to vote. They can now vote in church. And if you do that, we're going to win by numbers that nobody's ever seen before. You know, you have tremendous power, but you just don't know that. But you have to use that power. Christians are a group that's known not to vote very much. You have to go out, at least this election. Just give us in, get us into that beautiful White House. Vote for your congressmen and women. Vote for your senators. We will change this country for the better. This country will be great again like never before. You got to vote. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, November 5th, which is a period, really, because you're allowed to vote early. They have early voting, late voting. Everything is so ridiculous. We should have one-day voting, paper ballots, voter ID, and...
I agree with all this, but if the Republicans win the White House, will they implement any of this? Probably not.
Certification of citizenship, and that's what we're striving for. But voting actually starts on September 6th in North Carolina, a great state. We're doing very well there. I only say that when we're winning or going to win, you know that. It's just one of those little things, can't help it. No, it's a great state. North Carolina, September 6th. Then it's Pennsylvania toward the end of September, and it's various states in September, and then you have October, and you know, it used to be on November 5th you vote. But November 5th meaning this election will be the most important election in the history of our country. We're going to save our country with this election. So all of their persecution is only happening because I am running for president and leading very big in all of the polls, including big leads against Kamala. We have very good leads, despite the fact that she came in as a replacement, a mandatory replacement. Joe, you're doing badly, Joe. We want you out, but I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out. You're going out, Joe. Do you understand that, Joe? You're going out, Joe. I don't want to go out. I won't go out. All right. You don't go out. We're going to go after you with the 25th Amendment. You're incompetent. Everybody knows that, Joe. I won my case in Florida on the documents, right? Joe.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say he won. He got it dismissed, which is a win for him. But I would consider winning as in the case went forward and they found him not guilty. Just like that's just me personally. But I mean, he did technically win. Yeah.
Joe had a much more, I had the Presidential Records Act on my side. I was allowed to do. I didn't do anything wrong. He did because he didn't have the Presidential Records Act.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like I hear people when we're talking about Biden doing his taking the documents and stuff like that and all that stuff, and then oh well, it's different, blah blah blah. Biden gave him back when asked, Trump didn't, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But what people seem to forget is what people don't get is that the difference is Trump was president when he took those documents. Biden wasn't. He was vice president. He didn't have the authority to take those classified documents anywhere unless Obama said it was okay. So that's the main difference that I don't think people really understand. Is they're like, oh, it's well, Biden was different, blah blah blah, but Biden was vice president. He doesn't have the power to do classification. Trump does.
He lost his case, but the decision was he's incompetent, so he can't go to trial. So he's incompetent. Think of this: he's incompetent. He can't go to trial, but he's allowed to be president. So he can't go to trial because he's incompetent. He can't defend himself, but he's allowed to be president. What's that thinking all about? The radical left Democrats rigged the presidential election in 2020, and we're not going to allow them to rig the presidential election in 2024. We won't have a country left, right?
We're listening here to former President Donald Trump speaking at this event in West Palm Beach, Florida. We have to step away for our final commercial break of the hour. We head back out to this next.
Democrat in the entire Senate, and that includes Bernie Sanders. Do you believe that? She is more liberal than Bernie Sanders. I didn't think you could get more liberal. She's substantially more liberal. You always go with that. You can't have that. It's cheating in nice people. Criminalizing oil. Possibly to put the illegals. Have you going to and million they come months ago South America.
There's some controversy about what he said somewhere.
In Venezuela was one of the most taking their prison, all of them. Sending them to us. You got to get to do their job. We're going to orders by the or if they're 1 week in our country's showing what an energy in fiscal mandate, tax cuts for workers, any drivers, any caddies, keep their money. You came all the way from, waitress having them in the restaurants. Don't they with it? And you tips. Before that, all they had into war. Look at his, but that was a week's term, and it will be right here in Florida. Oh, you like that idea? Look at her. Yeah. Why shouldn't we? It's our technology. We know how to do it. Israel, they had 300 rocket shells and we don't act on all social things that pay or 1 day way up, flooding it. Be a king Trump perfecting of black. We're going to all over the horribly or the World War.
Beach, Florida. We're going to
just this time, but you have to get out and vote. Vote early, vote absentee, vote on election day. I don't care how, but you have to get out and vote. And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years. You know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote.
All right. So there it is. So that's been the various controversy going on. Let's go back. Let's go back to that.
Vote. And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time.
So, he's talking to TP USA or whatever it is. And they're largely, got some Christians and shit and stuff. So he's talking to Christians. Okay.
You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years. You know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine.
So, people are taking this. Oh, he's saying it'll be fixed. He's going to install himself as a dictator for life. Blah, 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 blah. And as always, they're clearly intentionally misinterpreting what he's saying. not saying he's going to install himself. He's saying 4 more years. All right. He didn't say, he says it'll be fixed. What does it mean by that? Well, it means that, just as one-time Christians, because apparently Christians have a low voting rate. And he's like, just as one-time Christians, vote for me, and you don't have to vote again. All right. Now, what people are trying to make this out to seem is Trump is saying, oh, if you vote for me, I'll install myself as a dictator, and you guys won't have to vote anymore because there will be no voting or some crap like that. What he's actually saying is he's just asking for their vote this one time. It's like, just vote one time for me, and you don't have to do it again if you don't want to. Meaning, like, after just vote for me so I can fix the country. All right. And then after my 4 years, if you don't want to vote again, that's fine. That's what he's fucking saying. All right. It's clearly what he's saying. All right. What else is he saying?
Fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. It's time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years. You know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be.
Now, what does he mean by it'll be fixed? Well, what he's saying is he'll, put, make it so that voting is actually, people will actually, feel heard, and it won't feel like it's going to be fixed. What he means is he'll fix it, as in he will fix voting, making it so like if there's voter ID laws, U.S. certification, all that other crap, blah, 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 blah. That's what he's saying. He's not saying it'll be fixed as in he'll. It's very clear what he means. And again, of course, the media, the Democrats are all trying to make this into a lot of nothing what it actually is.
Be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christian.
So again, he's just saying like this one time, vote this one time for me. All the Christians just vote one time for me, and I'll fix the country again. And you won't have to vote again if you don't want to. That's all he's really saying.
I love you, Christians. I'm not Christian. I love you.
And then there's this one where he's like, they're saying, oh, he's saying he's not a Christian. Well, he's really saying I'm a Christian.
Get up. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out.
Even the Kellogg's captain says, I'm a Christian. He says, I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. But, it does sound, I'm not going to deny, it does sound he's saying I'm not a Christian. But it's clear he's saying
vote.
I'm a Christian.
In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote. In conclusion, America has always...
Again, he even reiterates, he's like, you're not going to have to vote again. In 4 years, we'll have it fixed. So meaning like we'll make it more, we'll install we'll do the SAVE Act where you have to prove you're a U.S. citizen. That'll be fixed. That'll end a lot of the fuckery going on and shit like that. I mean, stuff he wants to implement to make voting more, to make you feel like voting is actually valid again. That's what he's talking about.
Always been a nation won, built, and sustained by Americans of faith. It was faith that led the Pilgrims to cross an ocean and settle this majestic continent.
All right, I think that's everything I really need to see.
Faith in American nation. Women.
So I don't know if I missed it, but also at one point during this speech, he said he was going to do a federal immunity for cops. I think that's a bad decision. Cops shouldn't have federal immunity. I don't think a lot of cops should have immunity. But it is what can you do. So I think it's a poor thing on his part to be, promising some federal immunity. That's just me. Anyways, what do you guys think? What do you think of that speech? Do you think Donald Trump is saying that he's going to make it so that he'll install himself as a dictator and you won't have to vote? And what he's saying, it'll be fixed by meaning he's going to make it so you'll be a dictator for life? Or do you think he's actually saying he's like, I'm going to fix how we do voting, making it so it's actually people have faith in it again, and blah blah blah? Is that you think that's what he's actually saying, or do you think he's actually saying, oh, I'm going to install myself as a dictator? Let's come on, this is ridiculous. All right, so that's all we got today. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about Biden's proposal for the Supreme Court. Let me just make this clear: it's a complete political stunt. It's not going to get passed at all. 2, it's ridiculous. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. I don't know what else we'll talk about. I'm sure something will come up. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Give me a follow wherever you're watching. And wherever you're watching, just make sure you go to Rumble for sure. And give me a follow there, and I would greatly appreciate it. I hope you have a good day. Peace out, and I'll see you later. Peace.